Hi everyone, welcome back to the Art of Business English. Episode 143 here today, and I am your host, Andrew Ambrosius. And this is the Art of Business English, where we help people like you get the English language skills that you need to be successful in any business English speaking environment. Now, today I am looking into the second part of my two-part mini-series into the future tense. And we'll be looking at be about to, okay? The future continuous and the future perfect. So a little bit more advanced grammar than last week, where we looked at, some easier, maybe you could say easier versions or easier uses of the future, where we looked at future simple and present continuous for future use. So really important that if you haven't checked out episode 1 in this two-part mini-series, then you check it out. You go back and have a look at last week's episode. This episode will become a little bit clearer then. And as always, I'm going to be diving in, showing you or giving you some examples, showing you the context in which we use this type of grammar. And then I'll be giving you examples so that you understand it and see the structure and how it works, okay? Now, before we go into that episode, I just wanted to let you know that it is that time of year where we're launching our Black Friday sale here at the Art of Business English. So head over to the Art of Business English website and grab my courses at up to 80% off. And you can use the discount code at checkout, which is Black2020. Okay, so don't forget that. And when you're checking out, apply that code and you'll get an 80% discount on most of my programs and courses. Okay, then let's dive in and check out the second part in my two-part series on the future tense in English. Okay, so be about to. Let's look at that one first. It's probably the easiest one. It's using the verb to be. So again, the structure is quite simple. You're just using an affirmative, a subject plus am, is, or are plus about to, and a verb. So I am about to go to Rome. I'm about to go to Rome, which basically means I'm, almost leaving. It's like something that's happening very much in the immediate future. Negative would be with not. So subject plus am, is, are plus not plus about to plus a verb. So I am not about to go to Rome, meaning, I'm not doing it. It's not happening shortly. And an interrogative would be where we invert again the subject with the verb to be. So I would say am or is or are plus subject plus about to plus verb. So are you about to call John, or are you about to go to Rome? Okay, so really simple. But what's more interesting is like the actual use of it and how we use it. It's for talking really about quite immediate future, something that you're on the verge of doing. So let's look at the use. We use be about to talk about something likely to happen in the immediate future. Okay? So in last week's episode, I talked about will for immediate future. But will is for immediate future when you actually decide in the moment to do it. Like, I'll help you open the door. Or, I'll call John right away. So you've just decided. So I will is for this immediate future, but immediate future when you've just decided in that moment. I mean, about to do something means the action is about to happen. Okay, the thing is about to happen. It's immediate future, but it's not something maybe that you decided in that moment. Probably, you don't just decide to go to Rome in an instant. You need to buy tickets and you need to book accommodation. So something that you planned in the past is fine. However, the actual action that you're going to do or that you're about to do is immediate future. Okay, so that's a little bit of a difference between will for immediate future, which is in deciding in the moment, and about to, which is like maybe you didn't decide in the moment, but it's something that you've planned, but the actual carrying out or undertaking or doing of that thing is about to happen now in the immediate future. Okay, so I'm about to go to Rome for a conference. This basically means I will be leaving very soon. I'm going to the airport. I'm about to leave for the airport. So, immediately something that's likely to happen in the very immediate future. Okay, so let's look at this note here. The negative is a little bit different. The negative form suggests that the speaker has no intention of doing something. Okay, so maybe you're angry with someone and you say, well, I'm not about to call them and say sorry. So if you say, I'm not about to call them and say sorry, this means that you have no intention of calling someone and saying sorry because you think, maybe they're to blame and they should say sorry to you. So I'm not about to cancel my trip. So I have no intention of canceling my trip. So when we use it in negative, it has this connotation. Like it's not something I'm intending to do. Okay. Let's look at the next one, which is future continuous. So I hope that's clear. Be about to, it's quite simple now. The structure is clear. But future continuous, that is a little bit different. And the structure is a little bit more advanced. So as it's a continuous tense, you can imagine there has to be a verb with gerund. So think about it. You've got a subject plus will. So I will. And then you need the verb to be to cause or to create a progressive or a continuous tense in English. So I will be what? I will be doing something. Okay, so I will be flying. I will be flying to Toronto tomorrow. Okay, so as you can see, I've used the subject plus will plus the verb to be plus a verb in gerund. So I will be flying to Toronto tomorrow. Again, the negative is with not. So I won't or I will not be flying to Toronto tomorrow. And the interrogative form is we would invert the subject with will. So will you be flying to Toronto tomorrow? So you can see the structure is quite simple. You just need to remember that it's will plus be plus a verb in gerund. Okay. Now let's look at the use because again, that's important. It's basically for actions that will be in progress at a specific time in the future. So tomorrow I will be flying to Toronto at 10 o'clock. So a specific time at 10 o'clock tomorrow, I will be on a plane. I will be flying to Toronto. Okay, so that's very specific. For another example, they will be taking part in a play next month. Okay, so taking part in a play means they will be, acting in a play next month. Okay, so it's an action that will be occurring or will be happening in the future at a specific time. We can also use it for plans and arrangements for the future. Okay, so plans and arrangements for the future. For example, the technology company will be launching the new product tomorrow. So they will be launching. Okay, that is something that will be happening tomorrow. Okay. It's a plan, it's an arrangement. The new product is ready, so they will be launching it. The actual launch of this product will be happening at this time in the future. So pretty easy to use and in those two cases. So let's look then at some time expressions that are commonly used with the future continuous. The first one is this time next. So we could say this time next week, okay? So meaning at the same time this week. So today, for example, it's Tuesday. So this time next week would mean next Tuesday. This time next week, we will be lying on the beach in the Bahamas, okay? Something that you will be doing at the same time, but in the following week. This time tomorrow. So again, at the same time tomorrow. So this time tomorrow, the election will be finalizing the votes, okay? Or this time tomorrow, the company will be hosting the event. So you can see this time next week or this time tomorrow, these are things that will be happening at the time that you mentioned in the future. Okay, so really quite simple there. And just remember the structure, okay? So it's will plus be plus a verb in gerund. Now let's look at the last part of the episode. We're actually going to be looking at the future perfect simple. Now future perfect simple, it's using perfect tenses, so it can be a little bit more complicated for learners because you have to introduce have. Okay, so, the present perfect is I have been, I have eaten, I have done, for example. Okay. The past perfect is I had been, I had done, I had eaten. So you're using had instead of have. So future perfect will use will plus the auxiliary verb have. So it's the same structure as a present perfect, just all we do is add will. So we have a subject plus will, I will, and then we use have, and then we use a verb in past participle form, which is basically the last column of our columns. So regular verbs would finish in ed. For example, I will have walked. So walked is simple past or past participle. Whereas if it's an irregular verb, you need to memorize that. So I will have eaten. Remember, eat is eat, ate, eaten. So eat, present simple, ate, simple past, eaten, perfect. So remember the structure. It's very simple. I will have plus any verb in in participle tense. If it's negative, you need to put I will not again and then have. Or I will not have eaten. I will not have done. I will not have finished. Okay. And again, interrogative, really simple. It is will first, then the subject. Will you plus have plus past participle. So will you have finished the report tomorrow? Okay, so it's again for talking about things that we expect will have been finished or will have completed in the future. Let's have a look at the use then. So we use the future perfect simple to talk about something that will be finished by or before a specific time in the future or a specific time of future. Meaning, from the time I'm talking, between now and the time I talk about in the future, the action should have finished. So tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I will have finished this project I'm working on. Because you're making this prediction about something that you will have completed. I will have completed. You can be certain because you've almost finished now. So you say, I will have finished the report tomorrow. Okay, so let me give you another example. John will have finished cooking by now. We're certain that John will have finished the cooking because we're making this prediction about an action that will have finished in the future. Okay, another one is we can also use it to talk the length of time that an action will have lasted for at a point or time in the future. So the length of time that an action will have lasted for at a point of time in the future. So we're using the perfect tense to help us include all of this time into the future. Let me give you an example. I will have had this tablet, I will have had this tablet for a month on Monday, and I'm still getting used to it. So I will have had means that on Monday, not now because it's not quite yet Monday, but on Monday, I'm telling you the future time. On Monday, I will have had this tablet a month. So at the moment, it's probably 3 weeks and 4 days. Okay, but I'm telling you that it's a future length of time. Okay, so I'm including this time up to the point that I mention or I tell you in the future. So I will have had this tablet for a month on Monday, and I'm still getting used to it. So that's how we can include the time that we mark or we state in the future. Okay, so we're including the length of time right up into the future. Okay, so I hope that is clear for you. It's really not that difficult to use once you start putting it into practice because, the structure is quite fixed. It's quite simple. You just need to be aware of how we use the auxiliary verb have with the past participle verb of any verb. So that's really not that difficult. So try and use that next time you want to express a future length of time into the future. Now we're going to quickly look at some time expressions which are often used with the future perfect simple. By the end of the week, I will have finished this report, meaning I haven't finished it now, but I'm telling you that by Friday or by the end of the week, I will have finished it. So for an action that will have finished in the future. And this time tomorrow, I will have completed my assignment or whatever. So you are telling the person, you're using these time expressions to help indicate the future, okay? And put in the listener's mind that these are the future times that I'm marking, and then I can talk about the actions that I hope will have finished in the future. Well, there you have it, my friends. As you can see, this future use is a little bit more advanced. Some of the structures are a little bit more complex, especially when you're looking at, future perfect, because it does use, the perfect tense plus will. So, this can be a little bit confusing, but I'm sure that you understand from the examples I've given you that, it's not that difficult. Once you understand the structures, you can really put them into practice, and that will really help your English become much more fluent, and you'll be able to express yourself much more clearly and really make sure that people understand exactly what it is that you mean when you're talking or referring to things in the future. And now, as I mentioned earlier, we have our Black Friday sale, Cyber Monday sale happening over at the Art of Business English. So make sure you head over to the website and use the discount code BLACK2020 at checkout. You can get access to all of most of my programs and courses for up to 80% discount. And that will be only happening for this week. So make sure, if you are listening to this podcast in the end of November 2020, then you don't miss out and you head over there. Okay, people, well, that's it from me. I'll see you all next week on the Art of Business English. If you do have any comments or questions, don't hesitate to let me know. I'm always here to help, and I'm more than happy to give you some feedback or advice or answer any of your questions. That's it for me, people. Have a great week. Take care. Bye for now.